As I process the outcome of this election cycle, I worry about our democracy. I worry about the millions of Americans who face the loss of their rights. Whether you're a woman, a gay or trans person, or a minority, I feel your pain, and I am telling you right now to fight. Fight because this is not over. We have witnessed the trauma of what losing a fight looks like, and just how large of an impact this loss will have on us, not only as individuals, not only on our country, but for all people on planet Earth. We have only lost the fight when we give up. If your rights are on the line, tell your story. Appeal to empathy. Appeal to the humanity of the millions of Americans that have shown us that they do not yet understand what empathy is. Empathy comes from real human stories for both voters and representatives. So please get your friends together and flood your representatives' inboxes with protest. Show them that we care about our human rights and that we will never give up. Show that no matter what happens during the next 4 years, we will not let hate win. No matter what the federal government does, individual states in our democracy still have the power over their own laws. If you are at risk as a resident of a red state, your best course of action is getting ready to move. Protections in blue states will be made more rapidly than we've ever seen before. We saw it with abortion, we'll see it with trans rights, and many other rights. The good news is, some states like North Carolina voted for a Democratic governor, even though they voted for the former president. I am confident in predicting today that trans people will not lose access to gender-affirming care in blue and safe haven states. I am hopeful that means the same for marriage, abortion, discrimination, and our hundreds of other fundamental rights as humans and as Americans. Sadly, I do mourn the loss of many rights for millions of Americans tonight. I understand that for many, including myself, that this is a traumatic event that could spark a mental health crisis in our country. I have had thoughts of fleeing and of worry of a looming death. I have had feelings of panic, heartbreak, hopelessness, helplessness, sadness, and so much more I can't even describe. My friends are my lifelines right now. Talking about your experiences is of utmost importance during this time. So if you find yourself needing to talk, find a therapist, consult your friends, talk to your family members, and find other members of your community who are feeling the same way right now. I promise you, it's not hard to find people equally as devastated. This is more serious than many of us care to even allow ourselves to understand before we saw that red line past the 270 mark with the help of an overwhelming majority of Americans last night. We must treat this as seriously as it is. Media does not work without an appeal to empathy. People have deep-seated beliefs that are hard to break, but it is possible. We must fight. Use your voices. Let your stories be told. 2 nights ago, I woke up from a very light and short sleep, wishing only death upon myself, as I watched all of my nightmares come true in mere moments. I thought of all the countries I could flee to. But I will not die. I do not want to die, nor do I wish to flee. I know that many of you feel the same conflicting, scary, and empty feelings, and as a trans woman, I know these feelings well. I spent the first 18 years of my life living in a painful brain fog, and I thought that my life was worthless. I hated myself, and I hated the world. Not a day went by during my middle and high school experience where I didn't contemplate taking my own life. Transitioning to girlhood gave me a will to live. I am finally myself, and it feels amazing. I have hopes and dreams in Hollywood, in America. I want to finish school. I want to become famous. I want to work in media. I want to tell my own stories, and I want to help others tell their stories as well. Storytelling is the only thing that we can control. That's what makes it as comforting and as important as it is. I love myself now. I'm obsessed with myself. Just look at me. I love cameras more, though. Creating media is the only thing in life that's ever come naturally to me. It's my true passion. I want to arrive on my first set as an actor and be confident in my abilities and my femininity. I want to walk onto my first set as a director, feeling confident in my abilities as a strong, independent, and intelligent trans woman. I won't be able to do any of that if they strip away my rights to gender-affirming care. I'll be forced to detransition, becoming the depressed, awkward, and scared person that I once was. And at that point, life would not be worth living. Sure, I can flee before it affects me. But why in the world should I need to flee from my home country that likes to think it loves its freedom so much? Why would I even flee when a global climate catastrophe is inevitable? I'm utterly disturbed by the fact that America, the world's #1 polluter, we're #1 in nothing, but we're #1 in pollution, needed to cut its emissions by 45% by the year 2030. We won't have another president until the year 2029. And there we have it, a summary of my story. I hope you join me in this global fight. If I can put this out there, you can put yours out there too. Maybe one person will watch it. Maybe 1 million people will watch it. Views don't matter though. Stories do. How we tell our individual stories is the most important tool we have right now. Showing our individual experiences will bring us together and help us strengthen our conviction for what is right. Evil never wins. Not in the end. We cannot let it. Stories always find their audiences. Trump's did. I thought he was probably going to win. I knew that holding on to hope was only a temporary escape. Kamala Harris's campaign taught us that we are stronger together and we cannot give up the fight. She gave us the tools we need to never give up. She showed us that we still choose to have hope, passion, and a love for democracy in the United States of America. We hold these values because we know that they are right. We can think critically about how different outcomes of events affect not only ourselves, but our country and our planet. These next 4 years are going to be excruciatingly difficult for hundreds of millions of people. Not just you, not just me, not just your friends, but nearly half the country and people around the world. We have a midterm election coming up in just 2 years. Watch as we find out just how catastrophic this presidency is going to be. Watch as people figure out the gravity of their mistakes. Watch as Trump loses more and more support of his country. Watch as our rights disappear. Watch as we fight through the suffering of these next 2 years. Watch as we grow angrier and angrier. And watch us fight. Be a part of that fight. Tell your stories. A friend of mine who happens to be a lesbian told me that they're scared and disappointed. They said to me that at the end of the day, this is not the end for us. There's still work to be done and progress to be made, and we can change things if we stand strong and unified. As Democrats, we are living, breathing protests, and we will not just give in. Today is the day we grieve, but tomorrow is when the work starts. Tomorrow is now today. This begins now. So get angry. Use it. We may not have faith in our country right now, but we must have faith in our community. Do not worry too much. Worry only hurts us. A professor of journalism and research told me that he believes we'll have another election in 4 years. He told me we'll probably have our democracy as well. But it's hard to know for sure as this time, as Trump is unpredictable. But we know that it is hard to overturn a 250-year-old democracy. States have power. Votes have power. People have power. You have power. Choosing how you use your power is extraordinarily important during this time. I'm using my knowledge of the power of media right now to communicate this message to you. Whether you're an American or not, you are part of a collective now. A collective of people who don't want to watch our country fall apart. A collective who understands the gravity of a looming global economic collapse and climate catastrophe. This affects everyone. We must unite as people with common sense. We must unite as beings of this planet that we call home. I beg you. I beg you. I'm gonna be here for you, because if I, a trans woman in the state of Virginia, can make it through this, so can you. We're all gonna have to be here for each other. Please make this promise with me now. Repeat after me. I will be here for my friends. I will be here for my family. I will be here for women. I will be here for the LGBTQ community. I will be here for minorities. I will be here for my country. I will be here for my world. I will be here for what's right. I will be here for myself. And I will fight for my right and the rights of all to be here, no matter what. I promise you that you are loved and that you are seen. We must now fight, because when we fight, we win. We just haven't won yet because we didn't show up strong enough. It won't be easy. We knew it wouldn't be easy. We know, especially as women, that nothing in this world is easy. To get what we need done, we must never give up the fight. Never, ever give up. So please join me. Fight.